What's up? So today we are going to be covering Madcap. If you do not know what Madcap does, he buffs Teddy. He gives Teddy affliction damage, and in the lead, his affliction duration lasts. His head is weird. Well, besides that, his duration is 2 seconds in his support slot, and in the lead, it's up to 4 seconds, but he also applies a 50% snare, or slow, whichever one you, I guess, think it is. And that's kind of really overpowered. Like, when you combine that with Shrap's, that's really, really good. Because what makes Shrap's really good is stalling enemies over them, in front of them, or underneath them. So basically enough, if you were to combo that with a wooden force spike that also applies a 50% snare, you can basically stall enemies, instead of it being only 50% speed, all the way down to 25% speed. So as an example, it takes a basic husk around 1.5 seconds to cross a tile. With Madcap or wooden force spikes, it takes 3 seconds. And with both, it means that a basic husk takes around 6 seconds to cross a single tile. That's pretty OP if you ask me. So for the heroes I'm running in the loadout, Madcap in the lead, of course. Happy holidays. We're running old Glory A.C for the extra cooldown, as well as Fagment Flurry Jess. Those two combo very, very well, because when you use a fragment for either Teddy or Shock Tower, it passively reduces the ability cooldown by 20%, but that just gets extended to 30% because of old Glory AC. We also have Bear With Me with Enforcer Grizzly, obviously for extra Teddy duration. You can have a permanent Teddy with Madcap in the lead with those 3 heroes in support, and happy holidays. So definitely a really good combo of perks. We also have Ventura, Ramirez for extra Teddy range. So Teddy can basically cover a lot more, so it doesn't really matter as much where we place Teddy. He'll be able to cover all of our trap tones, preferably with her in support. And then Jilly Teacup is a given because of how basically Madcap's perk works. It only applies the snare and affliction when Teddy hits a new target. But other than that, let's get straight into the gameplay. Wow, I guess I should probably mention the mission I'm going to be doing first. And the mission I'm going to be doing is this retrieve the data, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could say it. It's retrieve the data. Again.
You know how always coming up with gadgets to outsmart the storm? Well,
it definitely helps with, of course, this loadout that you find some charged fragments just to get that Teddy cooldown at the start of the mission, just, you know, down as much as possible. And also, I want to go over something that actually happened recently in the update. You can notice I'm building metal ramps. I normally build like wooden ramps because they get one-shot by smashers. But they actually nerfed all of the enemies in the game. So a lot of enemies that are normally like powerful 160 just have like less stats now for some reason. And also in 4-player missions, enemies, depending on the amount of people you have in your lobby, so the less people you have in your lobby now, the lower the power level is going to be for all of the enemies, which means I can just chill and build metal ramps and they will not be one-shot by smashers. Let's go. That's honestly a great change, honestly, because I've always found that to be really, really annoying. It also means that husk patrols, enemies from encampments, will also be a lower level, just as long as I'm in a, you know, emptier lobby, my bad about that one. And it also means that you could just sorta chill in 160s and use like any weapons you want. Like, I'm just gonna run like a Fagment bow and a shooting star just to help slow down smashers, and yeah, honestly, that's like just some random weapons, and that's actually fine with how low the power level is for all of the enemies. So basically, I'm just gonna be clearing out the objective. This is a really good spot for my loadout, because I can easily put Teddy like right in front of the objective and have him cover like free strap tunnels. So free out the free strap tunnels I have. And the strap tunnels are also going to be extremely simple. Like, it's literally just me using like 3 different types of straps. Nothing really too complicated at all. So for the straps that I'm going to be using for this, I guess, this build, it's pretty much just 1 4 spike spam. I do not suggest spamming 1 4 spikes. Like I mentioned in my strap guide video, their snare lasts for around 6 seconds, so without Madcap or any other form of slow or snare, enemies will be snared for pretty much 2 tiles straight. So those like last 2 1 4 spikes closest to my data in the strap tunnel I'm currently in could just be any other 4 strap and they would still be slowed. But because I'm running Madcap as my commander, is I want enemies to be consistently slowed throughout the entire strap tunnel. And also I'm going to be comboing it with tire straps with 2 reload perks, because that has pretty much a 6.5 second cooldown, which basically means if it takes around 6 seconds for a basic enemy to cross a tile, it's basically almost a 100% uptime for the tire strap. So really good duo for straps there. I'm also just pretty much spamming sound walls too, because, well, spoilers. I of course have, you know, my 1-4 spikes consistently doing damage, strap-based damage, which could of course aggro spoilers to want to blow up my straps. I'm also going to be using a defender with a double blower as well, mainly just because of the AoE that it does, you know, add. It's just basically like free damage. And yeah, I'm basically just spamming a bunch of sound walls with just like alternating reload perks. And then just to finish off wakes, I'll just throw down some ceiling sappers. Of course, nature ceiling sappers, because we are in a water zone. And yeah, that's pretty much a whole build, besides the tire straps that I haven't added yet. I also placed a ceiling field just right above the defender too, just because I don't want like something randomly to leak from my strap tunnel, or a random enemy sent by a flinger to just drop down and just attack my defender. Hopefully that will of course pick off, you know, anything that does aggro onto my defender. So that's why I put that ceiling field there. The counter I'm going to be using to, of course, play around flingers is actually pretty simple, because again of the, I guess the overall power level rework or nerf, whatever you want to call it. You don't really need good defenses, honestly, for really flingers. They don't hit that much damage against tier 3 metal, because, you know, obviously a, you know, flinger that's power level 250 is going to hit a little bit more damage than a flinger that's power level, you know, 160. So I just set up some low tier wall darts to pick off anything that lands. I also set up some anti-airs, because anti-airs actually can do decent damage to just low level husks, so actually not bad. And it also does, of course, you know, add extra building health too in case, as well as be able to automatically heal my roofs as well, which is a nice 2-for-1 right there. But yeah, basically, pretty much, I already know where I want to have my teddy. It's basically like right in front of my middle strap tunnel, just on the other side of my defender, right there. That is the point of interest for my teddy, because he has line of sight of all 3 strap tunnels. And that's basically how you want to use teddy in general. Or, well, I guess, yeah, teddy in general, I guess. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you use Madcap or not. But yeah, as you can see, because of the parallel rework, I'm just honestly kind of shredding the Smasher. It's just like a random vacuum tube bow, Teddy's helping out, Defender's helping out, and kind of just dies really easily. Like, I feel like honestly if I actually used some real damage traps, I could actually consistently trap out Smashers. But maybe that would be for like a different video, I think, honestly. That would be a fun challenge, I think, to do. But yeah, even like a rush of Smashers kind of like this, like a little overwhelming, yeah, but eventually they do die very easily. You know, it's not the craziest thing in the world. And yeah, I really like how Smashers can just not one-shot metal ramps, honestly. That's just honestly something really nice. Because it's just like, you just can't use ramps, like, at all, defensively, if you just don't have a constructor for 160s. Which is honestly just really, really annoying, but it's nice that they actually changed that. So I can now just kind of play super defensively, you know, when I don't have the constructor, which is nice. I feel like that would be also kind of interesting for another video. Build like everything at my objective, but you know, don't play constructor. Just see how it goes. I feel like that's a great way to just lose, but I don't know, I feel like it'd be interesting. But yeah, other than that, I think the build's working pretty good. Bunch of like unupgraded parallel traps. I think it's honestly just Teddy doing all the work, honestly, because of how parallel they are. But I mean, they're installed. There's a few leaks here and there, but you know, it's whatever. We have Zoom Zappers and Defender at the back, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, they do send a lot of Smashers for this one. But yeah, I guess even though I didn't notice that there was flingers at all for like, I think like a good amount of time, looks like the traps that I had on the roof, as well as maybe my Defender, probably sniped him out of the air. Probably not good line of sight. But also, like, when do you ever get like a random flinger just in your trap tunnel? I would just like to appreciate that, honestly. Like, I never have that happen. Even with like high ceiling traps, the only times I get like flingers in my trap tunnel is really low RNG, or if I just run no ceiling traps. But yeah. And then ignore the skill issue that I have trying to snipe the flinger and just, you know, give up. Yeah, I mean, if he's not able to really do anything, I guess it doesn't really matter if I kill him anyways, I guess. Oh yeah, something you could also just do after this update is actually just delete mini-bosses, yeah. Because of the parable rework, you could just also shred mini-bosses with like random weapons. Like, it's actually pretty easy. Took out a bit of his health, especially when he was kicking around in the Shroud Tunnel. And yeah, you could just consistently kill mini-bosses when you play solo, because their power level is just really low. Now mind you, it doesn't really help that he has shielded, because that does actually negate a bit of my damage, because I am using a ranged weapon against him, but no, I mean, the fact that I'm playing solo and shredding a mini-boss is pretty cool, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't really recommend focusing on the mini-boss. With how this game works, the game could just send like a random rush of like multiple smashers with the mini-boss. So if you focus on the mini-boss, you just kind of have like a million smashers at your base. And that actually is what ends up happening shortly. Like I'll fight the mini-boss inside the objective and then just get like a random leak. So I still don't really recommend honestly fighting the mini-boss, but if you're able to drop him dead really quickly, unlike me, then honestly go for it, because it is pretty much free loot if you do. Other than that, that's pretty much about it for the rest of the mission. There's nothing really much else that goes on, just some smashers, a few weeks, and bad micromanaging skills. And that's pretty much about it.
We lost the file.
Smasher!
Also, this is why you don't want to focus, by the way, on just fighting something that you don't need to kill, like a random mini-boss, because I wouldn't have actually gone that weak right there, as well as have, like, every single one of my walls being pretty much obliterated, which again could have led me to either leak more enemies or completely lose. But, I mean, that one went extremely well, honestly, mostly because of the power level nerf. But yeah, also, I got like a ridiculous amount of combat score, like 18,000 is absolutely insane. Because normally I only get like 5 to like 7,000 most. But other than that, honestly, pretty fun hero. Definitely could have used him a lot better. I mean, definitely I leaked, so that sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, great hero, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and see ya.